What's the deal, my people? You know what it is. A Don Tony Teflon back at you. Another one. Usual Suspects podcast, and you know what that means. Fill the issues, guys. Rocking with me.
Hey Tony, it's good to be here. We're on the eve, basically, of the second to last episode of Better Call Saul. I can't wait to get into this. Hear what some of you guys in the live chat think, and we also have a call-in line 781-990-8509. Get your voicemails in. Share your theories. We're going to break down something that Tony found. It's real interesting, but we're entertaining all theories for this conclusion tonight.
Yeah, we don't know exactly. This is something that was something that a subscriber of mine actually gave to me and told me to take a look at. I have, and it's hard to figure out. We're going to use you. You're going to help us out here.
I don't know what's going on with that.
We can figure this whole thing out here live tonight. You'll see the theory crafting of Don Tony Teflon taking place for you live in your face and everything else. So let's say what up to some of the people in the chat before we get this thing rolling. We got Albert is in the building rocking with us. Julianne is in the building rocking with us. Sylvie's store is in the building rocking.
I want to shop at the Sylvie store
all day. The Mission Man is up in this 1914 is in the building.
Oh,
Retired Navy Rob is in the building rocking with us. My brother was in the Navy and stuff. Nuclear submarine and all that good stuff. Jason Osborne is up in here rocking with us right now. We got a bunch of people. Michelle Hayes is here rocking with us right now. Rob is in the building rocking with us right now. A bunch of people in here rocking with us. And we're going to go into everything right after we get everything going on. And we'll give some more shout outs as we go along. There's more people. Don't worry. You'll get your chance. Let's do it. Every time I do that, I try to time it, and it's just hard to
Every time you do that, I slice with the sword, but no one can see me. I don't even know if you could see me in that moment. I'm just like, oh yeah, sword.
Just can't get that thing. It should just be closer. This damn OBS doesn't make things close enough for you and everything. That's just the problem and everything. All right, this episode is entitled Waterworks, and I like to say, I got a lot of good feedback about my Monopoly theory that I put out there, but there's always a lot of people out there who have commented to me telling me that they'd never heard it before, and now all of a sudden it's in everybody's video.
Right. I have to say I haven't put out a video personally, so, with the Waterworks thing. I went a slightly different direction, but I like your theory. But I was surprised how many people in the comment section of my video miraculously right after you put that video out had the perspective to think about that. It was amazing. They all came up with the thought, creative themselves. But it was awesome. It was great video. And
so it's always great that when you come up with something that people jump on board with and they're down with it, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. And as for all the YouTubers and stuff like that, it's the YouTube life. This is what they, it's always good to be recognized and someone shout you out, but you can't expect that. So, you know what I mean? You don't go into it hoping for that, you know what I mean? So
in fairness, some of the comments I did receive, I saw a video, I'm not sure who did it, or a couple people named you in the comment, but some people were like, I just came up with this interesting thought. What if Waterworks is the Monopoly board?
No doubt, but it's all good. Stephen H is in the building rocking with us right now. What up, T? Listen, sorry. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this episode that we'll see, right? We see how it left off with the cop car there. And I tried to explain that it seems like that's a cliffhanger. And when dealing with cliffhangers, that the person who's in the cliffhanger moment never gets caught or bagged up from that actual cliffhanger moment.
I'm so awful. Every time you say cliffhanger, I want to say Cliff Main hanger. Like I'm thinking about the character Cliff Main. But yeah, exactly. It's not exactly what we think is going to happen. It's a different sort of situation. So what you were saying in the video, you don't think it's going to be a cliffhanger to what happens with the cancer guy. It's going to be something else. That's going to end up being an easier situation to deal with than maybe we're paying attention for. And then it's going to kind of lead us into a different direction.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to lead us into a different direction. I think they're just setting you up, making you think that, hey, this is what's going to happen. This guy, he's about to get bagged up because we've seen him, going stupid at the end of that episode, using his elbow to break into the cancer guy. I guess that's all we can call him is the cancer guy. We have no name for him, so I hate to say that, the cancer man. But breaking into the cancer man's house,
the Marlboro man.
Yeah, we see him doing that, and and it's not right. It's just not him. It's very sloppy of him to do something that he normally wouldn't do. What did that the wire, I forgot, but when the Greek was there, and
he's standing in the background, and
yeah, and they lose all this money, and the money's like left in one spot, and the guy's telling them we should go get it. He's like, no, let that money go. It's no need. We'll make more money. You go in there because you're gonna get caught if you go in there. And that's what it seems like him. Like, it just made no sense for him to want to go back out there and get that money. Because how much money could it possibly be? You know what I mean? To risk everything for.
I mean, I think it's a case also, at least from my impression, of he broke bad in that way. Like he's out of control. It's like the gambler that just keeps losing money, and then, oh no, I got to bet another one. There's a wonderful episode in The Sopranos called Chasing It, where Tony becomes a degenerate gambler, and he wins all this money at blackjack, and then he walks past the horse racing thing, and he sees a horse named Meadow, which is the name of his daughter. He's like, oh, I got to bet all my money. I got to bet all my winnings on this, and he loses his money because no matter what he does, he's on a perpetuation for a loss or for destruction. I think in some ways, Gene at this point, at least in this last episode, and you talked about this in a different video too, he's just making mistake after mistake. He's working with amateurs. He's pissing off amateurs in a way you shouldn't piss off amateurs. It's almost like he wants to get caught, as Uvo says. And it seems like that could be the case because even subconsciously, Tony's been talking about this for a while, and I agree, where he is right now, when you get away with it, even if you start pushing your boundaries. It happened with Real Henry Hill. Like, he got away with it. He didn't live that life forever. Goodfellas didn't end that point. He went on the Howard Stern show. He became a public drunk. He came back he got busted for B&Es or break. Like, he had some busts because he couldn't get out of the life. And Jimmy's that same way. And I think he's making these kinds of mistakes. He's attacking Cancer Guy because he can't help it. And Cancer Guy reminds him, even on a visceral level, of Walter. And Walter helped put him here. So I'm going to F this guy in his F.
Yeah, and also that's Sammy the Bull Gravano, same guy who turned on John Gotti, testified against John Gotti. Guy killed like 20, 30 people or something like that. If you kill 20, 30 people and you find your way on the streets, you got to thank your lucky stars. That even the government even paid for him to have plastic surgery after they hit him. And this guy still went out there with amateur kids and started selling meth or something like that. Yep. And wind up getting caught again and getting caught and put back in jail. I mean, and that's what it seems like they patterned this whole thing after Sammy the Bull. Like the guy who wrote it, he took inspiration from the Sammy the Bull Gravano story, because that's exactly what it seems like, the way it's going down. John Haymaker, thank you for the super chat. Rip Vince Scully.
Rest in peace. We got a first voicemail of the night. This is area code 509.
Hey, what's up, guys? Albert here, calling from Washington State. One thing's for sure is that I don't think we're going back to the Saul Goodman timeline. We see the picture where he's putting on the red jacket, Gene Smith putting on the red jacket, and I think that's just we're seeing him going back. And he's gonna get caught up, that's for sure. So thank you for making these videos.
Thank you so much for the call. And I think what you're saying is you don't think we're going to go back to Breaking Bad Saul or Jimmy stuff. I do think we're going to go back, and I mean, we'll get into predictions later in full, but I'll say it right now. I think the next episode is going to be a Kim episode. I think we are going to get some more Jimmy stuff, but we're going to see Kim during the Breaking Bad timeline point, and we might see Jimmy a few times during there, or Saul a few times.
But I think very southern of you right there. Let me
Saul Goodman. We might see him down there. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you there. So I know it came out. The vodka made it come out for a second. My 2 years living in the different parts of the country. Boston, dude. I gotta talk. I gotta start talking like this. But I do think most of the progression of the Jimmy's story is going to be in the Gene timeline. I don't think we're going to go back to the Saul time for building on his character. I think we might go back to build on Kim's character and then get to the point of the other side of that phone call. I think we do see Kim in these final 2 episodes, personally.
I think I don't know if it's important to see her in this episode, actually. I don't know if the last episode you'll see it. And I think when it comes down to it in the end, she'll be a lawyer again, maybe inspired somehow by his death. I think Saul has a good chance of dying. And the money she got from the case that may allow her to open up her own law firm, and in Florida, she'll be a lawyer down there. I think I'm telling you, if they're ever going to do a spin-off show, another one, it would have to be about Kim in Florida. That's the only place they could go. She's the only actress young enough to still play the role. And if you put her out there as a lawyer in Florida, listen, you may not have to go Mexican cartel, you go Cuban. You go something like that she gets dragged into or something, you know what I mean? But that would be the only way that I could see them doing a spinoff or anything. So I think we do see Kim, and I think the reason why. Now, listen, I put the theory out there before that, he goes to jail and she comes and represents him and everything. But is she going to have her? Is she going to have her a law a degree in the state he gets arrested in? And that would be the only hiccup.
I think she's going to be like, if we get into this again, we both have slightly different timelines. Everyone in the chat probably does too. And it's really cool to kind of think about how they're going to pan out these final 2 episodes. In my silly head canon right now, I think this next episode, we do catch up with Kim and we see a little bit of bounce back and forth more in the Breaking Bad timeline and how she had a few interactions with him along the way. We get to the point of the phone call. And then the last episode, I'm still holding strong, is a trial, but maybe Kim, it testifies against him instead of being involved as a lawyer. And then when he goes to jail or dies, either way, the pain from the Howard situation is lifted from her. So then she goes back to the law. She's sort of inspired by the case of Jimmy getting put down eventually. Whether I tend to think jail being helping out inmates and being the jailhouse guy, like being Jimmy in the jail. And I know you think he ends up possibly killing himself, or dead in some ways. Yeah. So either way, I think Kim's reaction to that gets her to get her license again. And
I always thought he'd go to jail. Obviously, the Waterworks theory is about him going to jail. Yeah. I put that out there. I put the spin at the end of him killing himself because it had to be special. It had to be different. And I know other people probably think that he's going to go to jail too. So I'm always got to be a little different.
You needed a little flair. You wanted to throw the Hail Mary in there.
And what I put in there happens to work too, because I do think that there's a good chance that he could kill himself. He could off himself. I don't know if he has the balls to go to jail. Now, I know there was other characters already killed themselves. Other characters already been shot, right? Right, Lalo got shot and killed. So, but other characters were shot and killed before. It doesn't matter that it's not just one person do these things. If someone, and it would be, this is what happened to his brother. If he went out the same exact way after everything, it would really just be a 360. I just don't know how we can deal with him going to jail unless they pull out the whole trial and he gets convicted. I don't think they could, if they just show him open-ended, like I said, possibly they could do. I don't know if the fans would be satisfied with that, because from the comments I got, people wouldn't be. So would they really have enough time to go through all that, or just chop it to that point where he's in jail and now he's a jailhouse lawyer for everybody in there? You know what I mean? Like Shawshank Redemption.
The only problem with I don't want to compare it to a different show because I know people are doing this anyways. My whole thing would be, the only way that works is if episode 13 is completely a court case. Like beginning to end, that episode is in it with a 10-minute end at the end where we see where he ends up. But then that goes, would it be a little too much like the ending to Seinfeld, where you have like all the characters coming in and testifying against him and sending him somewhere? I'm not saying that Vince and Peter wouldn't do that better than Larry and Jerry did, but it's still, is that creative and interesting enough in the way that they're going to do this? This is supposed to be really bittersweet and a dark ending from the vibe we get. There's also a spoiler, I don't want to put it out there, about the possible last song used in it, which is a very really messed up kind of dark song that could say in the lyrics kind of what ends up happening to a certain extent. So I think we're heading for a very dark ending. And I don't know, as much as I'm sticking with it because I've always said it, so I have to ride the ship until it sinks with the trial to jail thing. It's seeming less and less likely. The same with my whole perspective of him going back to Albuquerque. As much as I think and I want that to happen because I said it and I want to manifest it, it's that window's closing very quick for him to come back to Albuquerque too. I think
they show him in the, you got all right. So let's take the Walter White scene that we seen from the show, the ending of it, right? So we see the RV pull away,
yep,
and then there's a grave that's laying there, right? So this is the grave that he thought that he was going to get put in, right? But in the end, he didn't get put in there, right? Now, if you look at the scene, so what we could call that is a close call, right? So everyone could say that's a close call, right? If you look at the scene that was right before they showed that, it was the guy with the dog who goes inside the house. When he leaves the house, it stays on the door for a little while, pauses on the door, and then you see him come back and pull the tape off.
Yep.
Right? Like that was a close call. Like you were thinking at the time, like, oh, this guy fucked up. He didn't pull the tape. But then they show him do that. Then they go right to the scene with him on the grave. Another close call. Right? He thought he was going to die. It looked like he was going to, but that wasn't the case. But then after that, they show him pull away. And when they show him pull away, they show the grave, and then all of a sudden they transition. They transition right into him laying in bed in the same exact grave, which to me means he's digging his own grave, and there's a good chance for him to get God.
Now, I don't know if we should talk about it here. A couple people have asked us. I've seen it scroll by in the chat a couple of times, and I obviously posted it on my channel. Have you guys seen the leaked teaser for the final episode? I think you should watch it.
You were the first one who posted that on all of YouTube.
I was yeah. I think I was. Was I? But no, I think one other person posted it before me, but the audio was a little poor, and what I did was I downloaded it and then I raised their audio levels, and I did give them credit in the video. So I did get it from one person was before me. But yes, I did post that. We did see it. If people want us to talk about that a little bit, we can. I don't want to get too into that, but I guess it doesn't really spoil anything for episode 12. But I don't want to. Some people might not want any spoilers about potential leaks, so we may keep it down a little bit. But it was interesting, and it does kind of lead into, to talk about it vague. It does sort of support some of Tony's theories. If we look at that, that's all I'll say about it right now. It definitely
maybe
supports.
At the end of the episode we'll do it, and then that way people can leave.
Can dip out if they want.
If they want. Spanish peaches. I've never had a Spanish peach. Well, wait a second.
Wait. I need a peach for hours.
I've had a lot of Spanish peaches. If you want to go that route.
Yeah. Wait.
You want to go that route? I've had a lot of Spanish peaches. I've had a lot of African peaches. I've had a lot of Asian peaches. Have them all, baby.
I can eat a peach for hours.
But it says Saul and Kim plan to do one last scam whereby they cook up a scheme to get reward money and then fake Saul. I appreciate it, what you're saying here. I can't see Kim getting back in the game at all. I think she was devastated by exactly what happened, and I think that would ruin her character and her character arc if all of a sudden she came back into the game just for him. She left him because of it. So all of a sudden to come back to do a scam to get him out and fake his death would just, to me, it's just not something she would do. What would you think?
I don't have to add in exactly what you just said. I know I'm not one to not talk when I have an opportunity, but exactly what you just said. I agree with every single word you just said.
That's the only reason why. Better Call Saul. Listen, make sure you call in 781-990-8509. I didn't change that.
Someone, my friend Gina just texted me, and she's watching. Her favorite theory is the sequel with Kim and Huel called where Huel ate Kim, and it's called Better Fuel Huel.
Well, tell her to go watch mine. Because I don't know about that there. I really don't and everything.
Better fuel
How
fuel.
will Gene and Kim meet again? I don't know if they do. I don't know if they actually run into each other again. I don't see the reason for them to have to. I don't think he has to see her one last time before he goes. I
No.
don't know if that's the case.
I don't either. I know we'll see Kim again. I don't know if we see Kim and Jimmy interacting again, other than seeing the other side of that phone call. And I do want to say there is some stuff from that phone call that we can unpack because it isn't so much spoilers. I was able, and a couple of other people were, to clean up a little bit of the audio on that phone call. But what's even more impressive or interesting is the German dub stuff, or it's really detailed. On the German dub of that scene when him and her were talking, there's lots to it. You can dig it out and look it out. I'm going to try to find it so I can read it if I can dig it out at some point. But basically, she says, turn yourself in. And he says, why don't you turn yourself in? And I don't know if he was saying that in a just like a being a wise ass back, or that she's culpable with some sort of scheme that he's involved. And that's why people are sort of connecting that dot. Maybe he's using her for some money laundering stuff. If the sprinkler place could be another front, but I don't think any of that's true. But I think that's where people's heads are going, because some of that translation of that phone call is seeming like Kim is more involved in the situation a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Corey Ryder. I truly appreciate it, man. I do. I Spanish speeches like I wasn't being said. We're just here talking. We're here
Or it
talking.
could be about Howard William Hayes.
Spanish speeches, you can call in 781-990-8509. Make sure you call in. If you have something to say, we would love to hear from you. So make sure you call in 781-990-8509. It's on the crawl going across the bottom. We're about to get into this article. We're gonna wait the half an hour, then we'll get into this article that we're talking about. That we're gonna actually need your help, to try to solve exactly what's going on. This is definitely what we figured out. We came to grips that this is definitely happening in the next episode, without a doubt. Right? This is next episode stuff. It's gonna happen in the next episode.
It has to.
No, there's no way around it. So this is a part of the next episode. Can we figure out exactly what's going on? Because maybe this helps lead to the whole Kim situation. Maybe this helps lead to some of these things that we're talking about right now. All right, let's get into it right now.
Better bang hang. Before we go, we have one quick text before a voicemail.
Right.
Area code 734. I'm not going to read your comment, but yes, I have seen that picture, and I wonder if that's just an offset kind of thing, or if that's the real deal. So I don't want to, again, I don't want to say that out loud in case that is a real spoiler, but that's certainly a possibility. 734.
All right, let's move wrong one. Let's go into this. All right, so this is an article that came out a while back. It's called Bob Odenkirk's Long Road to Success. In this article right here, it's from photos illustrated by Zachary Scott of the New York Times.
Cool photo.
All right. And this right here, there was a reporter who was on set during one of the filmings of these episodes. And we're going to go into exactly what he said about the episode he was on. He was out there with. All right, we'll take this super chat. Thank you so much, Alexander Wilson. I read a spoiler before that the season started, and that we'll see Kim and James' timeline, and she will be in Florida. They said that she's in Florida. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that was the case. I myself, I don't think that Gene will ever make it to Florida.
No, I think we might see Kim in Florida, and this isn't about a spoiler. I think we're going to see her on the other side of that phone call. I'm still convinced that the director of the last episode and the writer was asked on Twitter if there was another side to that phone call. He was very tight-lipped and just said yes, period. That they did that. So, and he almost confirmed it with a few other comments that we will see the other side of that phone call at some point. So I do think we see Kim in Florida in the Gene timeline, on the opposite side of that line, and we hear more about what happened there.
You would have a shadow of doubt. Phil is going to read.
Oh, I am? Okay, here we go.
The part of the article. Have you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means something. So we're going to go exactly and look at what this guy, that this reporter's take was on set of this episode. And we're going to see if we can figure out exactly what scene this is in this upcoming episode.
It does it start where, do you want me to start where it says inside the house?
Yeah, inside the house, I think it would be.
Okay. Inside the house, a cameraman captured the beguiling tableau. There was a glass-topped watch winder lined with felt and fitted with 3 fancy-looking timepieces, each traveling at its own hypnotical orbit. A few inches away, a framed photograph of a dog. Next to this, a squat urn. Okay, let's stop right there at the beginning. So where is this? He's carrying a photograph of a dog. Is this Nippy? Could this possibly be he needs to prove to Marion that Nippy was real and he's showing her dead dog?
I mean, it's a squat urn. What exactly is a squat urn? Let me look up what a squat urn means.
Well, that just makes me think of squat cobbler. Like the first time you read this to me, Tony is up at 7:30 in the morning. I mean, he's up earlier than that, but he's up 7:30 in the morning going through theories, messaging me like, dude, what does this mean? And we were going through this early on in the day, and I don't know what a squat urn is. I'm assuming a small urn. And there's a framed photograph of a dog. The only dog we've heard about up until this point is Nippy. But the weirdest thing is the 3 fancy looking timepieces, each traveling in its own hypnotical orbit. It's weird or interesting. And I'm not sure where that goes. Is it a squab like a pigeon? Yeah.
So when we're looking at this squat urns, it seems like it's like a pot with 2 handles on the sides of it.
So it's something you cook in?
No. It's more like a 2 handles on it, and it's like a opening. It doesn't seem like there's some type of
Okay, so it's not the style urn you would imagine seeing when someone says an urn.
No, it's more like a pot. Looks more like a pot, like a planter's pot, and anything else too. That's what it looks like to me. More like a planter's pot that you would put a plant in, or something you would carry water in, and everything. So it doesn't say specifically like what.
Okay, so maybe it's not when we were first thinking about this, we were thinking urn. It's got to be something dead. So it maybe is a different thing.
No, it could be. I could see people, but putting ashes inside of this thing. Without a doubt. So it could be that. I think that it could be something for pets. People are saying it could be ashes, but it does seem like there's something going on with that urn without a shadow.
I'm guessing or thinking that maybe somewhere along the way that Marion asks a few too many questions, and he has to say that his dog died, and he brings a picture and shows her. Brings an urn where the ashes are. No, this is help me say goodbye to Nippy. This is poor Nippy. Nippy died. I don't know. Maybe
it could be. It could be. I think that when we talk about what we said before, that makes me think, how could that be? Because what's it say before that?
It says, give me 1 second. That's the where there was a glass-topped watch winder lined with felt and fitted with 3 fancy-looking timepieces, each traveling in its own hypnotical orbit.
Watch winder.
That's one of the weirdest things, because that part seems more surreal. Like we're not looking at a real scene in the sense that something that's really happening. It's some sort of in his head kind of moment, but
because he doesn't have that stuff in his apartment.
Yeah, and each is moving and it's different.
A glass top watch winder that he does not have in his apartment at all. You know what I mean? There's no way it could be in his house. You know, I wonder if this is what there's so many pictures, different pictures of these things. But I could bring pictures up. Let me see if I can.
And let me continue a little bit, because there does have some more references to this. Framed from overhead, Odenkirk shuffled into the shot and planted himself in front of these things.
So his mark in the scene was to be put right in front of. So those things have importance, because they put his mark for the camera for him to walk to. You know, Mark, I'm sure everyone knows, but in case you don't, they put marks on the floor where you're supposed to walk from one place to the next place so that the camera could track you and you could wind up in the scene. So his mark was directly in front of these items, meaning these items, they want these items in the scene if they have some importance.
And to go to the next line right there to back that up, it's telegraphing a faint, happy drunkenness with a few grunts in an impressive economy of motion. So he goes over there in a big drunken sort of, hey, everybody, like there, it's not subtle. I guess is what's saying with a few grunts in an impressive economy of motion. So he moved quickly with little motion, I guess is what he's saying. Quickly with little motion.
And he's drinking.
Yeah. Or
so he's comfortable. When you're in somewhere you're drinking, you're comfortable. I'm drinking right now. You know why? Because I'm comfortable where I'm at.
Is he drunk or is he high off the moment? And okay, if it's Gene, he's drunk because they've almost established with the way he's making his drinks, as you pointed out for a different reason, but I also think it shows that he's an alcoholic, that Gene is drinking way too much because that's all he has time to do. And that's part of the reason probably why he's making mistakes, because he doesn't have this most clear wit amongst them.
John Haymaker says he's high on life.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He could be just high on the moment and just wrapped up in it and kind of moving like he's drunk, but not really drunk.
All right. What's the next line?
Let's see. Let me catch up here. Okay. So Odenkirk shuffled into the shot and planted himself in front of these things, telegraphing a faint, happy drunkenness with a few grunts in an impressive economy of motion. He sat down a glass of liquor. Okay, so he is drunk. Sat down a glass of liquor.
So he is drinking.
He sat down a glass of liquor next to the urn and proceeded to pluck. This is the earlier part that screwed with me. I want to make sure I read this right. He set down a glass of liquor next to the urn and proceeded to pluck the watches from the winder, stuffing them into his coat pocket. So he plucked the watch, like the big hand, the small hands. He plucked those out of these watches going in different directions and put them in his pocket.
The watch winder is a thing that the watches are placed in and had a glass case over it. I think they're saying he plucked the whole watch. He's stealing the watches.
Okay. For me, it's like
removing the glass, and now he's taking the watches off of that winder and he's sticking them into his pocket.
Okay. I read that a little bit more surreal. I think I've been watching too much like Twin Peaks or something. I'm thinking he's like reaching inside a watch and plucking the pieces off of him. So he plucked the watches. Okay. So he sat down a glass of liquor next to the urn and proceeded to pluck the watches from the winder, stuffing them into his coat pocket. Slowly, the camera tracked forward, making it clear that Odenkirk stood on a balcony overlooking a living room. And a beat later, revealing a jarring sight on the floor. Lagging behind the camera, Odenkirk casually peered over the balcony's edge and, spotting the thing in question, reacted with a jolt, his boozy energy given way abruptly to a silent pantomime of terror. So he saw a dead body, right?
Yeah, I would have to say the dead body, because he goes there. Now it's a balcony inside of someone's house, which means it has to be an expensive house. It has the watches in there, meaning it's an expensive house. He steals a couple of watches. He looks over the balcony, and now he's drunk, but he's snapped out of his drunken stupor by the sight of this dead body.
Dude, when bad stuff happens, it sobers you up really quick.
And
really?
That is what's, I think, going on right there. But who is the body that he's looking at?
Marion? A couple people in the live chat were saying good things. Marion's a good person. Good things don't always happen or never happen. Good things never happen to good people in these universes.
He doesn't have the money to have those watches in a house with a balcony. You know
Could it be? And from we were saying this earlier too, it doesn't seem like Cancer Guy does either.
Yeah, he doesn't have. You look, he has a one-story flat, right? So he doesn't have a balcony in his house. So it can't be the cancer guy's house.
Could it be a new character that's introduced for the episode that he tries to scam one more time in some really rich person that kind of catches on to him and gets into this cat and mouse thing with him?
Yeah, people are saying here, Kim has a balcony. This is inside. So Kim has a balcony outside of her apartment, if you're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
This is inside of a house, there's a balcony. And he's looking down onto the living room floor. So this is not in Kim's apartment.
Right. This is a mansion. This is a big mansion of some sort.
Yeah.
If it has a balcony looking over a living room like that.
Yeah, this is a huge. If you have a balcony, that's some Scarface shit.
Yep.
But you take an elevator and go downstairs to greet your guests. This is something.
Hello to my little friends.
It's a situation like that. You know what I mean? So it can't be. And people say Marion's house. It's just too big of a house to be Marion's house. She's not having a balcony inside of her house. That's just not it. So you have to look at what we have. The facts that we have is there are expensive watches there, specifically expensive watches. Urn sitting there. He feels comfortable at the moment because he's been drinking in the house, and then also, and he's stealing while he's in this house, stealing the watches, the expensive watches, while he's in the house. He feels real comfortable. He looks over the balcony, and all of a sudden, he's not drunk anymore because he sees that there's a dead body on the floor.
Yeah, and I'm thinking what I was saying, and what Jason here is saying, maybe it's the next person he pulls the scam on, and it goes bad.
Do you think that he would be bold enough? Now, number one, he's never gone into this house until we just seen him right now. I know he fired the guy to do it, but if that would be his job, would he be bold enough to go in there drinking?
Tony,
drinking there. Did he go in there to rob a guy and make himself a fucking drink?
He's the dude. Tony, this is what I'm saying, and I think you called this out, so I'm going to use your own logic. He's making mistake after mistake. He's working with amateurs. He's drinking all the time, doing that now. He's running scams when he's a wanted man, when there's things like American Greed on the internet for people to catch and watch. He's throwing his face out there. He's making friends. He's doing everything he shouldn't do. Yes, I do think he is Gene, and the Gene we see right now is absolutely dumb enough to be drunk ass and start because if he gets away with this with cancer patient, he's going to be even more emboldened. Like one of those people that they start by stealing a quarter off your cabinet, and then next thing you know, they're going through your drawers and stealing bills. People that do things, they keep trying to push boundaries, especially someone like Jimmy. He can't help himself. He just keeps pushing and pushing. So I think he's like a moth to a flame. He'll keep amping it up right now because he's bored and he's locked in a box. So he keeps freaking out more. So I do think that's a possibility because I do think he's that stupid, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, that's really stupid.
It's really stupid.
Break into somebody's house, and then while you're doing it, say, hey, let me make a drink for myself.
But what were you...
I will say this, and this is a true story. I have a lot of true stories, and this is a true story. I grew up in Queens, New York. I know a lot of people. I know two people, and both of them went to jail after this for a very long time. You know what I mean? They were graffiti artists. One wrote Bletch, one wrote Repo. And they wound up breaking into this old lady's house, trying to rob her. And they wound up killing her. And then instead of just fleeing the house, they made bowls of cereal for themselves and ate the cereals. And then they left. And eventually they got caught and stuff. This is a true story. So this think that he wouldn't go in there and make a drink for himself is not far-fetched. Because I know people in real life who did something stupid like that. And they went to jail. They both went to prison for a very long time because of it. And they did it when they were very young. They did it when they were like 15 years old.
It's like they're the sticky bandits from Home Alone.
Yeah. So, people do stupid stuff like that is what I'm trying to say. So it's not far-fetched that he's just, hey, there's some liquor here. This guy's passed out or something. But it just seems like the way that they're showing it, that they're saying that he leans over and sees the dead body. Why would he be shocked if this guy was already passed out? He has to know this body is dead, right? So if the guy was passed out in the living room and he looked down and see it, he would just assume that the person is still passed out.
Right. He's got to know. he's got to be shot or he's got to be bleed. Like he has to know immediately from looking at him that he's not just passed out, that he's dead.
Yeah, that the guy and it seems like, I don't know if he cares about the person or something, but it seems like that there's that he's just like there's something like he's very shocked about it. I mean, I'll scroll. I'll put it on I like the picture of him in here, but I'll put the notes on the board for people in case they're reading along with us later on and stuff like that.
Where it says this is the God's eye view is where we're at.
All right, so yeah, this is the inside the house. This is the part right here. And then this is the God's eye view. This is the part that we're doing right there.
So Bran is looking at him through the weirwood tree. This is the God's eye view Gilligan called out to Odenkirk. So that's the important thing to take right away. If this is a scene we haven't seen yet, because Gilligan obviously directed a few episodes this season, but I don't remember seeing this. This is definitely new. So this has to be the next episode. That's what Tony was saying that. If Vince Gilligan is the one directing this scene, it has to be episode 12.
And he is the one directing the scene, and we know he's directing the next episode. So it has to be next episode this happens.
Right. So this is the God's eye view Gilligan called out to Odenkirk, explaining the mechanics of the shot. We see something a second before you do. They filmed one take. Okay, I want to, before we go further, this is the God's eye view Gilligan called out, explaining the mechanics of the shot. We see something before you did. Okay, so basically he's saying that the audience is going to see the dead body before you see the dead body, so make sure you react at the right time. So, and understand that they're going to already have seen it. They're not going to discover it by your eyes. We're going to get an overhead shot of the whole thing and see the dead body and then see Jimmy come into the frame and react to it. Where is it? Okay, they filmed one take, then another. The sequence short but demanded precisely timed interplay between camera and actor. So that's just classic. It's going to be a well shot scene, I guess.
I mean, when they show that body, it's like a beat, then your reaction.
Yes.
Like it has to be timed perfectly. You can't react too late and you can't react too early, because as soon as it shows the body from the top view over and they show it and they pan back to him, he's got to be right there with that reaction. It has to be that point.
And I wanted to take a picture of one of the comments so I wouldn't forget it. As Henry said, spin-off, Huel's Pool. Huel's a lifeguard. And that's better than Better Fuel Huel, which is
well, let me put this up real quick for Cindy J. I think it's a great comment. It says, it's Marion. 1 point, Jean had too many drinks at Marion's house before. 2, the urn contains her husband's ashes. 3, the watches are her husband's that she kept wanting. I think everything you said sounds great, and I would agree with it if there wasn't a balcony inside the house.
Maybe the way that I'm just going to play the devil's advocate here. I'm Al Pacino. No, but the devil's advocate here and say, what if that's just a misinterpretation in the way that the writer is trying to add some gravitas? There are some houses where the top of a staircase can kind of look over a living room and it's not a big, huge balcony. And maybe he's calling it a balcony, but it's not quite a mansion. This could easily be Marion's house, and it could be the Marion situation, and the way he's describing it is making it sound big and grandiose, but it's actually just sort of like a little thing that she looks out, from the top of into the living room, like the Sopranos one where Olivia's coming down the stairs, like something that just hangs out the edge before you come down the stairs. It's just like an old house.
But what they're saying is that there's an urn and there's like a, so it would have to be a big enough walkway on top to fit type of a dresser that can hold these things.
Yeah, and all these watches and this whole big setup. So I think instinctually, exactly what you said. Everything is telling me from reading this, especially a second time, that it's Marion. But if it does seem like,
I mean, I would not say it's not Marion, but it just seems like it's a more grander spot that he's in. to and I just don't know if Marion would have a balcony in her house. Like, a balcony is a big thing, unless I'm looking at balcony a different.
Right, or I wouldn't even say that you are. I would say that maybe the writer is adding a little bit of.
If he's adding a little too much gravitas,
right? He's adding a little
expensive watches on a winder, then
on a
balcony on top.
Yeah, he's making it sound like we're in. I was just gonna say that my neighborhood. We're in the ritzy. I was Marion County and set type stuff, but really it's laid back. We do have a voicemail. Let's see if the voicemailer has any perspective here. Area code 203.
Hey, this is Foz from Arizona. Yeah, I love your guys' commentary, and I appreciate all the content you put out on Better Call Saul. It's my favorite show. But I do think some people are kind of missing a big one, and that is that this is a show about the law. It is a love story, obviously, but it is a show about the law. And the way this show is going to end is very simple. Gene will, to all y'all's point, go to jail. But for one last time, he will be defended by Kim Wexler. I don't know what hoops they're going to have to jump through in order for Kim to, get the right to practice law again.
I'm going to play the rest of your message. I agree with you, but it's not going to be Kim Wexler. It's going to be the bald guy that we heard about in an episode ago. That is when Francesca tells him about it. Oakley is going to be defending Saul because they set up that he's a defense attorney now for some strange reason. They felt like they needed to do that. So if he is to have a lawyer, it will be that. But I do think Kim might be part of the case. Sorry to interrupt your call, dude.
That's what they were arguing about. I'm not sure exactly, but she will defend Jimmy one more time. Now the question is, will she get him off or not? I think she will. And then after that, they will part ways. But she will defend him as she did when she defended him against his brother, as she did when she defended him against Lalo.
I hear what he's saying, and I did a whole video about this, about Kim defending him and coming to his right. And I played it. And I talked to you. We talked about this.
Yep.
I did the video on that. The last scene could be her sitting there at the court table with him, and her grabbing his hand, and then the trial starts and it's open-ended. And that's the way they leave it. The only problem I do have with that, even though I said it, is that I just don't see how they can let this guy get off again. I can't see them how you can't beat the system. That's the whole thing. She's got too much dirt, too much blood on his hands. And I even think that I don't know if it's going to be if he got arrested and he was in jail, and at the end of jail he's giving it criminal advice to people while he's in jail. I think that may be too much of a happy ending for him. Yeah. I think he has to suffer the consequences for everything he's done. And I think the only way for him to suffer wouldn't just be him going to jail, and then all of a sudden he adapts to prison, and now he's having fun. Not as much fun, but he's having fun in prison because he's adapted to it. I think he's no way around that. He has to get got.
Maybe, but or is he the cockroach that Lalo called him? And no matter what happens, wherever he ends up, unless he gets that death kind of ending that's conclusive, he's going to keep finding a way to worm his way up. But I agree with you that I think a lot of people, myself included, are hoping for bittersweet on the side of positive for an ending where really it's going to be dark. I mean, the other show, this isn't Breaking Bad. It's a different show. It's its own ending. It is intertwined, but the only show to look at as a comparative tissue in the way that these guys ended the show is Breaking Bad. Did Walter have a happy ending? Walter, I want to have sex with you. Did Walter have a happy ending? No. Bittersweetish, maybe. Like he was able to give his money to his son. That Walt Jr.'s never seeing that money. Gretchen and Elliot are gonna go to they're rich enough to hire private investigators and see if someone's really out to shoot them. And when they figure out no one is, they're turning that money into the feds, especially when it's a high profile case. I don't think Walt Jr. gets that money personally. And Skylar took the deal, as we found out, and stuff like that. the only good thing Walter did at the end was let Jesse go, and I guess Jesse is the only person that gets a happy ending in this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. It says Jesse flees to Mexico.
He ends up in Alaska eventually.
But didn't they say he fled to Mexico? She said, "Oh no."
That's what they said, but at the end of El Camino, he's in.
That was just the.
That's where he left his car.
The cops think he's in Mexico.
Yeah, but he's in Alaska with the ghost of Jessica Jones hanging out with her, talking to her.
But that would be it. I mean, so if we go along those lines, right? We go along those lines. The main character got killed, right? He got killed. He got shot. He got killed. He was going to die anyway from cancer, but he got shot. He got killed. And the secondary character, if you want to look at Jesse, made it out. So if you go along those lines, and you would say that Saul gets killed and Kim makes it out.
Walter did win, though. He was able to use his science bitch brain and set up the MacGyver-like gun and kill all the Jack and his guys. He did get himself killed in the process, but he did win. Will Saul get a win, Tony? Will he get some sort of big win in these last 2 episodes?
I don't think he gets to win. I think he has to go down. And I think it's got to be his ultimate downfall. I think maybe him going down and him getting killed somehow will inspire Kim to become a lawyer again. And that's what it would be when it's all said and done. I think that would be the only way that it would get a win.
I agree with you as well. I think the happy ending, if anybody gets one, is going to be with Kim.
And let me say thank you for this extremely generous super chat to my brother Fernandez team. Happy weekend to you too, my brother. We're gonna leave that up there for a while because that's that doesn't happen to this channel every day.
Toast to you, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely get. I'm drinking this thing called Bud Light Next because I don't eat carbs anymore, and this is the no carb beer, no carbs at all. I mean, it's not even beer color. It's basically water.
Is it like a less flavorful Mick Ultra? Is that what it tastes like?
It's way less flavorful than everything you've ever tasted, but it does make you think you're drinking a beer. So it's good enough. I mean, you could. It makes you feel like you're drinking a beer. But if you're a beer drinker, like you love the taste of the hops in it, this is not for you. But if you're a Mick Light drinker and you're trying not to get any carbs at all, like I'm not trying to do right now for this next whole month on the keto diet, at least, this is the only thing you got.
It's like Star Trek Synthahol. We got a response message from area code 203 after probably what we were listening to his message. Oops. Are you playing voicemail? Come on, machine. There we go.
Hey, thank you so much for taking my call. Before, real quick, the way that he will get off the evidence that they have is that they're going to blame everything on Walter. With all the information that Jim has, along with Kim one last time defending him, they will be able to pin everything on Walter. He went into hiding because he was afraid for his life. And I bet he has a couple of things that the feds would love to know about the criminal enterprise that was Heisenberg. So I got. Thanks again for taking my call. You guys are killing it. Thank you. Better Call Saul for life. Please.
Great call, Tony.
It is, and I say I agree that he could. The thing is, who does he turn state evidence against? If that's usually when that happens, like, all right, who you can't do in the United States against the Mexican cartel because they're not United States. There's no, as she said when she was on the phone with him, Francesca, you're the only one left.
Yeah, I mean,
you're the only person for them to get some charges on is you. You're it. There's no one else to pin anything on. So if they want to make an arrest that sticks to somebody, it's your ass.
Yeah, him or Jesse. And I mean, Jesse's the only person he could turn him in, but he doesn't know where he is, and he's not going to get the vacuum cleaner guy to tell him where Jesse is. I'd love for him to be able to turn state's evidence, but he can't do it against. He doesn't even know enough about like Don Eladio. He was never close enough with Gus, and Gus is gone anyway. All those guys are gone anyway. Gus killed all those guys. So really, who does he have any connection to be able to
bargaining? There's no bargaining chip.
Not in that case. Maybe some other evidence in a different case, but that wouldn't work. I would love to say yes, because he could answer a lot of the questions for Heisenberg, but he's as Tony said, and Francesca told him, he's the last one left to be prosecuted.
Yeah, and as Believe says right here, all of his shell schemes would sink him regardless. They found exactly all of his shell companies that they found where he was laundering money and everything else through. That's all been found. They got the case for him. They just need to find him. Everything else is, Eric, she said it specifically, that's been blown up. That's been blown up. That's been blown up. You know, that was what that whole conversation with her was about. The conversation was, am I still hot or can I come home?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, they're still hot, man. They still follow me. They're still doing it. You're the only one left, bro. There's no coming home for you. There's no, it's done, and I'm gonna come back. That's what that whole conversation was about. And to tell him, and Kim thought he was dead. I mean, that's the point he's at right now.
Yeah, he's over. And the kind of charges that they're going after him have a long time, and some of them no end in sight, because he's connected to some murders, especially of two DEA agents, that bodies were found that they have no connection to. And I know he doesn't necessarily have a connection to Jack's gang, but because Jack's gang's all gone, Walter's was the one that they found responsible, and he's the lightning pole. And now that Saul is the only one alive, he's an accessory for a lot of murder, including two officers. So let's continue in here a little bit. They filmed one take and another one. It's really funny, Gilligan told Odenkirk of his performance. Let's do one where you hang out there a touch longer. So it's a comedic scene. It's played out in a funny way when he finds the dead body.
Until he finds the dead body.
Right, until he finds the dead body.
You know, why would she be dead? If it's Marion, like, why would Marion just croak right there?
I don't want to.
She's so shocked that she's dead right there. Did he poison Marion?
Maybe he could. It's a tropey kind of thing, but maybe he gets into an argument with her, and she passes. She loses it. Like, it's an intense.
That as a comedy?
No, probably not. Maybe a witty back and forth. They play it as a comedy, but maybe he just gets her too drunk.
He could. She likes her snaps. Let me go grab another drink.
And so let me take a couple of the comments while we're waiting for Tony. What are we gonna watch in 2 weeks? There's a lot of shows starting soon, but it's gonna be hard to top this feeling right now and get to another show. I know Tony, the next show he's going to be covering is House of the Dragon. I'll be doing that as well as Cobra Kai and the final episodes of The Walking Dead. I want to say that quietly because I'm not happy about that, but I've covered it since the beginning, so it's the sunk cost fallacy. Gotta find my way to the disgusting, awful end. But yeah, the middling dead final 8 episodes, rest in peace. Yes, I'm going to be talking about those horrible episodes. But Tony's next show that he's going to be talking about is House of the Dragon, and we're looking for the next Saul. We're looking for that next underground kind of show.
House of the Dragon next. I will say that if anyone's interested in the show from Epix, if you haven't watched it, you should. It's a great show. But I'll have another interview. Phil will be there interviewing with me with another main cast member from that show very soon. And then we're going to hopefully shooting season 2 from right now. And we'll be back into that as soon as that jumps off. But hopefully to get an interview from all the cast members. But we'll definitely got one with one major cast member that's coming up. And she's on set. I said I should have said that, but I did. So fuck it. And maybe we'll be able to get some information from what's going on set and everything else like that, you know.
Yeah, and absolutely, it's going to be a while for me to learn to love another television show again this much. But hopefully, there'll be some good television shows in these next year. Severance and From are both very good new shows that maybe will eventually not be Better Call Saul, but be something special. And I think the first season of Severance was and Tony said this before too, so I know he feels the same way. The best new show first season that was out last year,
from top to bottom it is. Especially the way they ended it perfectly. You know, I love From, and I would say From is great, but you know, again, it's a lot of open ended. It had an open ending. some people like it, some people don't. I liked it, and I thought it was a great ending. But I could see why some people wouldn't and stuff. You know, I like stuff that leads you to think and make more theories. Obviously, this is my job on YouTube, so you know, it works for me. But I do understand why some people are very, you know, they got that lost phobia in them still.
Yeah, the post-traumatic loss disorder. And yes, Severance is awesome. If you like Better Call Saul, it's not the same thing, but it has the same quality. So I recommend Severance. John Haymaker, and we'll get back to Saul right after this. John Haymaker, Only Birders in the Building season 2. I am watching it. I like it. Yeah. I'm going to be doing a review on my channel at some point after Better Call Saul with Tony and Anna from Red's Lipstick Club, talking about the whole second season and what our thoughts of it. But we will be doing that. We're just waiting till Better Call Saul ends because it's all encompassing. I don't want to do anything else on the channel except for that.
No doubt about it. All right, so we have the next when we start reading some.
Sure. We do have a voicemail if you want to play that first before we start.
All right, let's play the voicemail. Then we're going to go into the next part of this whole situation. What just happened? Something happened here. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jamie. I'm from Canada.
Welcome.
I turned 18 recently. Anyways, I like your videos and your live stream that you're doing right now. I've never seen call-in live stream, so I don't really know if I'm doing it right. I don't really have anything to say.
No, you're doing it perfect. You're doing it perfect.
About the show, other than it's very well written, and I'm sure we'll never guess what happens. Anyways, bye.
Great call. Great first call.
Yeah, great first call, and we appreciate it. And definitely rep your hood when you call in. Let us know exactly what you're talking about.
And happy birthday. I don't know if that's the drinking age in Canada, but if it is,
I know that because I know everyone from upstate New York used to.
Yeah, would go up to Canada and drink
when they were 18 and stuff. So it used to be. That's the first I went to Canada. The first time I went to Canada, I had this thing called Molson Triple X. It's really powerful Molson beer, Molson Triple X, and that beer was
he's got one more year. 19 is the it depends on the province.
Yeah, that Molson Triple X, that Molson Triple X would fuck you up. I tell you that. That beer was I don't know if they even make it anymore and everything else, but it was crazy. All right, so let's go into the next thing of what this guy says.
Yep.
And he says this: for 5 hours, I watched as he sneaked around the house, engaging in a weird cat and mouse game with another character. So when we hear this, so he's inside of this house. We're assuming it's all the same house, the house with the watches in it, and I would take it that he's the mouse and the other person is the cat. He's sneaking around this house. The person, I don't know if they know he's there or not, but he's not allowing them to find them.
Tony, before we go a little further, I want to say a couple things that were at the end of the other section.
Okay.
Maybe the camera should move till I touch the urn, Odenkirk suggested. Gilligan replied, yeah, but let's perfect this version first, where we see it before you do. That's how the Coens, I just want to get this line. That's how the Coens would do it. And I love those guys, which I think is awesome to hear Vince Gilligan say, because I've always said Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad is like they're like the Coen brothers of filmmaking, like with the long shots, the big desert shots. You can see a lot. You can see that, especially in Breaking Bad, how much Vince is into the Coen brothers. So I thought that was really awesome.
No, it is. And it's great to see it give recognition, right? Yeah. That's one thing that people should always do. Give recognition when you hear something, when you take something from somebody and use it. You know, give recognition that this is what inspired you to do that. You know, that's always a great thing to do and stuff. So we see that in the next scene, he's in this cat and mouse game. Someone's either looking for him, just know he's there. He seems to be hiding. Who is he hiding from? And it took them 5 hours to shoot this one scene.
Did he shoot for 5 hours with Carol Burnett, 89-year-old Carol Burnett? I don't know about that.
I don't know. It's a long time for Carol Burnett to be on the set for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and Timothy saying the cat and mouse game could be with a character played by Ron Perlman. He was seen at the BCS premiere. I don't know anything about Ron Perlman being in the show. I'm not saying that he's not.
So Clay from Sons of Anarchy is going to make an appearance in some ways. I didn't hear. I did see that he was at the premiere, or he was at the Tribeca thing. Maybe it was. But I don't know about him popping on in. I think they would probably leak that, or that would be a good thing to kind of build up. It could be a new character though that we haven't been introduced yet. I have a slight spoiler, but not really. Someone I went to college with is in the final episode of Better Call Saul in a singular scene with Bob Odenkirk. It might be he didn't specify in his post on Facebook about it whether it's a extended cameo or an actual scene. But he said, I'm in a scene with Bob Odenkirk in the final episode of Better Call Saul. I'll try to find the exact post and read it, but it's something like that. And it's just me and Bob. So there's an episode, but that's not episode 12. That's episode 13. So it's probably not that character. That's probably a different situation. And I just said it for no reason, but so I
know the guy. That's a good enough reason.
It is, but like I wanted it to be a tribute to this situation, thinking that maybe it's in my mind, I'm thinking it's a new character that hasn't been introduced yet, that it's another scam person, and he could be the next scam guy, but and then he lives in a mansion and somehow dies, slips and breaks his neck or some shit, some shit like that.
So the facts of the matter is this: that we know that he's drinking inside of a house. He walks up by an urn and some watches. He steals some watches. He looks over the balcony inside the house. There's a dead body. We also know that in some point in this scene, most likely before the person is dead, he's sneaking around in a cat and mouse game with somebody chasing him, or him trying to stay away from them at this particular time. And then those are the facts, and this is what they say right after that. Gilligan, this is optional. Odenkirk told Gilligan after some sneaking.
Yeah, that's this is optional. And someone asked, so this is the guy. Let's see if we can see his picture. This is the character that will be in the final episode with Bob Odenkirk.
All right. So it said, yeah, this is optional. Odenkirk told Gilligan after some sneaking. His brain was unable to resist subtextual probing. Why is this guy talking such big fucking words?
That's what I'm saying about the balcony. Maybe this guy is like firing up the balcony.
Why can't he just fucking put that out there in fucking regular English? He's unable to resist the subtextual probing. Fuck you. All right? Put this shit out there like we all just talk. You ain't gotta act all fucking fancy, fucker. All right. But I think, he says this in quotes, but I think parts of him enjoys this. The romance, and this is Odenkirk speaking to Gilligan right now. And he's saying, I think parts of him enjoy this. The romance of danger. And then Gilligan nodded and said, by a way of saying, no, I think you need to play it more like, I gotta get out of here. He replied. Otherwise, it would play weird. So we have right here the director and the actor seeing the same scene in two different ways.
Right. Gilligan is saying that you need to, so he did something wrong, something really horrible. And Saul is playing it like he is enjoying himself. And Gilligan wants him to play it like he's fucked up and he has to get the hell out of there quickly.
Yeah. Like he's playing it like, oh, I think he's enjoying the cat and mouse game, like he. And he's like, no, you're supposed to be playing this motherfucker like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of this.
So Tony, is the cat and mouse game before he finds the dead body, do you think? It has to be, right?
I would think so. It would have to be.
Or does he discover, well, okay, here we go. Could they somehow find Jeff dead? Jeffy kills himself, and Marion and him are in the cat and mouse game, or the other way around. Like they find Marion and Jeff is chasing him to. I
don't think he would run from Jeff like that. I think
I don't think he'd fuck Jeff up.
Is so afraid of him. This Jeff, the other Jeff, he would have ran from the first Jeff. This Jeff is like afraid of him. So,
unless he has a weapon or a gun or something. He's coming at him with a gun or something.
Yeah. ADHD Whiskey says, and thank you for the super chat. Says, any chance that Gene timeline is just Saul dreaming while at Ed's the disappearance? Think about it. He told Walt about the Cinnabons in Omaha. What are the chances he predicted his own future? So he did say that, right? We do have that. Would it be this whole thing just a dream sequence?
I'd be pissed. I don't want no Saint Elsewhere fucking ending where it's all in the mind of a boy inside a snow globe. Fuck that shit. I don't want that.
Yeah, I can't tell you that it wouldn't be, but I don't know how many people would be satisfied if it was. But it's no way I can say that that's not.
No, it's definitely a possibility, and I trust them that they do. If they did that, they do it well. But I feel like I wouldn't love that if it's like the Roseanne, like oh, Dan didn't die. It was all a dream. We didn't win the lottery. It was all a dream.
Yeah, it was a dream. Dan didn't die. I just said he died because he cheated on me. And
Newhart pulled it off, Tony. Like someone in the live chat said, Newhart pulled it off. It did because it was a comedy in a way, and I think Newhart was the only one that pulled that kind of ending off good for me. Unless maybe there's other ones, but Newhart, because of the Bob Newhart show, I just think the kind of show it worked for something like that, but it could have gone wrong.
Yeah, I think that they would ruin their ending if they did that. And I think that they would know that. So I don't think that they would go that route with it, me personally. But I can't tell you that they wouldn't do that. I can't tell you. And as you said, yes, the Cinnabon thing is it would be, it would be, a catch that you just happen to pick. Yeah, I'm going to break away and I'm going to work in KFC. And all of a sudden he's working in KFC. But things like that do happen in life, but yeah, I get 100% of what you're saying. Record crate, I predict Kim will kill Gene. I don't see that.
Yeah,
I don't think that she's that type person.
Yeah.
I mean, if they did, that'd be something no one predicted but you. Because that doesn't show her character that she would be that type of person.
Kathy says, what did Kathy say? The picture you held up looks like he could be an inmate that might be rooming with Gene. Tony Teflon NFL. He does look like he possibly could be an inmate. I don't want to, let me open up my camera again. This is the character it is. Let's see if it will set
Let's just full screen it.
Yeah, this guy, he's a great actor. This is his headshot, so I don't mind sharing it. Michael Vincent Barry, good actor.
He does look like an inmate, though.
He looks like an inmate. He does kind of look like an inmate, right?
Yeah.
Let me find the post so I can read exactly what he said to see it again. Give me a second. Oh, hi everybody.
Yeah, he definitely does look like an inmate without a shadow of a doubt. That something like that he would be doing something like that. He said he looks like a god. It could just be a bald head. It looks like a god. He does look like a convict, though. I can't tell you that he doesn't, because he definitely does fit that bill. If I was going to hire him for something, I was like, yeah, we need a convict. That guy right there.
Yeah. I mean, oh, here it is. Okay, he said, wait, no, huge congratulations to the. Oh no, this is just him with Bob Odenkirk. Sorry, I'll find it in a second.
And Timothy says the man can only keep copying so long. He looks like Hank's secret child. Let's see. Let's.
That was him. This isn't the post, but this is the picture with him on set. So that's what his character looked like in the show. Probably not necessarily that costume, but that look.
Yeah, look. All right, so he does look like a cop too.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he could be a cop. Oh, sorry.
I think he look like he's on one or the other side of the law, but he looks like he's something going on. He could be an inmate, or he could be a part of the law somehow. Somehow something's going on there with him, So it does seem like he could be a cop. It does seem like he could be an inmate, and if he's in the final. He's got a personal scene with just him and him.
Yeah, that's what it said. I'm trying to find the post, but it said I'm in a scene one. I think it said I'm in a scene one-on-one with Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, James Lieberman, I agree with you 100%. Saul being the guy in prison is a little too short. Straight redemption. It does seem that way, and that's what makes me think that they won't do it. Otherwise, if that Shawshank Redemption didn't happen, I think they would do it. But to have him just be the jailhouse lawyer, it just seems like he's getting away with too much.
Yeah, it's too I agree. It's too happy of an ending. The more you start to talk about it.
Yeah, he would have to somehow pay for all of his crimes, and I don't think that's a good way for him to pay by doing that at all. So I think it would be something else. Again, call in right now if you want. 781-990-8509. Make sure you call in if you want to leave a comment or ask a question. We truly will appreciate anyone.
We just right on point. We got 2 back-to-back voicemails. One's a little on the longer side, so we'll play at least part of it and maybe stop a little bit along the way. But area code 323.
First time calling. My name is Ross.
Welcome.
ROSS. Man, Better Call Saul is the greatest show on TV. Well, I mean, you have The Wire, you have Snowfall, you have The Sopranos. Anyway, Better Call Saul. The ending is going to be something like, dude, we're not going to be able to predict what's going to happen. Meaning, I believe he's going to be so stressed out and miserable because if he goes to jail, dude, that would be the obvious, right? If he gets killed, that would be the obvious. I think he's going to die from a heart attack. I really believe that. He's going to be so stressed out, nowhere to go. He has nobody. And honestly, don't be surprised if we don't see Cam anymore. I'm just saying, these writers throw us curveballs all the time. I'm just saying. Hopefully the ending will be better than Breaking Bad. And like I tell everybody, Breaking Bad to me lost steam after the 4th season when Gus died. I mean, in my opinion, there were some cool things that happened in season 5, like when, Hank died in the freaking desert. That was a dope scene. It was just kind of filler in my opinion. But anyway, yeah. So, honestly, they did bring Oakley up, and that's like, Jimmy's like, competitor. You know what I mean? They used to, his competition. So they brought up his name. They showed the billboard. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do it, but he might have something to do with it. I don't know. But anyways, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But I think they're going to give us something totally different from what we are thinking. I think he might have like a heart attack or something like that. It's suicide. No, you don't see suicide on TV that much anymore. But
real quick,
for sure,
because he's definitely rambling a little bit there. I do appreciate you calling.
Great call. Great.
But if you're saying you don't see suicide on TV, I don't see him doing a heart attack after the man really did have a heart attack on the show. I don't see them pulling that off. You know what I mean? I mean, they had him do the thing already inside where he collapsed inside of his job, but that was before he actually collapsed in real life. So the fact that he did have a heart attack, I just can't see them doing that to him.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm typing an email message to our international caller that asked if they could leave a voicemail. You can pay the international charges. I don't recommend it. Or if you can send a voice clip to that email, theissuesguy@gmail.com, I can play it on the air through my email. So if you can send a voice clip to that email as well, if you're international and you want to leave us a voicemail.
Yeah. So what do you think about the suicide?
About him potentially killing himself in the end?
No. So about him having a heart attack, like the caller said.
I don't know. I mean, that's definitely something that's unexpected, and I agree with what the caller is saying in ultimate theme that it's probably going to be something that we can't easily predict. And as much as we can look into this, they throw us for curveballs in all kinds of different areas. And that's certainly one way that could be a curveball. Even though I didn't come up with it, I didn't think about it, but this Monopoly thing with a couple of spaces over Waterworks from jail, it's like I'm saying, I've been riding this jail train since season 2 probably. So I'm gonna stick in that car till the end. But I completely agree with the caller's theme that anything is possible, and I think that's what's grabbing people's excitement with this show right now. It's unlike other shows that even if you're disappointed or you don't think something's happened, there's a rationale to it all. It's happening for a reason. It's happening because the writers rationalized it in their minds. And you can kind of think about it that way. Unlike some other shows like Dexter or Lost or whatever that might let you down at the end. This show, I think, even if it's not what you predict or what anyone in any of the 228 people watching us here on a friggin' Saturday evening, we could be out drinking on the weekend. You're hanging out with Tony and I at 8:30 on a Saturday evening, talking about this because this show's given us the anything's possible vibe towards the end, and they're pulling it off in a really awesome way. Even the people that maybe didn't feel the last 2 episodes as much, I don't know I'm sorry for you, but I think you guys can even admit you don't know what's going to happen in these next 2 episodes. It's not like it's predictable. It's just, most people are just like, oh, we didn't need Nippy. No, we didn't need Nippy. And I don't like the black and white. Like, oh, whatever. I mean, that's your thing. I dig it. I've been waiting for it, but we'll see. Like, anything's possible, Tony, in these last couple
anything's possible. It's just hard for me to see them doing that.
I don't think so. I agree with you.
He had an actual heart attack. I just don't think the writers would put that in there. Now, if he did drug himself, like he knew he was going to get caught, the cops are beating at his door, he has nothing to do. He got the barbiturates, he takes a little bit, and then he passes out and goes to sleep. I could see something like that going down. And thank you for the new sub. I truly appreciate it. XOXO at you too, sweetheart. I definitely appreciate it. Let me take off my glasses for you right now, so you can actually see what I look like. Now I can't see the text. I can't see what they were saying.
She says, you guys are my 2 faves on Call Saul YouTube. Oh, thank you. XOXO Gossip Girl. You're out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We do have another call from 203. Let's see what 203 has to say.
Thanks again for taking my calls, guys. Real quick, just to respond on who Gene might be able to turn state's evidence against in order to get out of all this. It's the vacuum cleaner dude. I would say he's probably a bigger get than Walt and the cartel and everybody else combined, with the information that he would have on his respective clients that he has disappeared. He is dead in real life, but he is alive on the show. I think in the timeline, we just saw him maybe a couple of months back before Gene said that he would take care of it himself. So they might have to switch actors for that, or maybe it's just an aside where, we hear about it and something happens in the courtroom with Gene and with Kim. But ultimately, I think if he turns in the vacuum cleaner guy, I think the feds would take it. That combined with a tall tale about, going into hiding because he was scared for his life. Thanks again, guys. You guys are the best. Bye.
I appreciate the call. And I don't want to feel like I'm just sitting here shooting down everything he says.
You're like, listen, buddy, I don't keep calling in, but
I gotta go back a little bit on that. But the fact that I don't know if they know who the vacuum cleaner guy is, that he's that important. Like, I don't know if he gets in there. Hey, I can show you this guy who's gave me the fake IDs, who set me up in a different spot. Would they really want that? And the feds, when it comes down to stuff, and the feds, when dealing with the feds, not that I've dealt with them in any way or anything like that, but when dealing with the feds, they want high profile people, newsworthy stories. They don't want no bad guy giving IDs out. They want the head of the cartel. They want things like that. You know what I mean?
What is the most I know about the crime situation is everything I learned from The Wire. And guns on the table. We want guns on the table. And there's right. Is that the right term? That
is like the term they use. Guns on the table. They want guns on the table. They want something that because they say, oh, we just captured this guy. You can't give Saul the deal for the vacuum cleaner guy that doesn't play. The American Greed story is of Saul. They did a whole story about this guy on cable television. He's the one they want. He's the head of the snake. They can't say, oh, we gave him a deal because there's a guy who gave out fake IDs. They didn't do the American Greed story on that guy because no one knows about him. He's not high profile enough. Again, they let Sammy the Bull Gavano out of jail with over 20 murders to get John Gotti that they couldn't pin one murder on. because John Gotti was the high profile guy. They didn't care about Sammy the Bull. You killed 20, 30 people. So what? Who cares? We want John Gotti because he's the guy in the news. He's the name. And we'll let you go for all those fucking murders that you did, you serial killer, just so we can get this name and we can make those headlines. And I think it's a situation like that when it's all said and done. It's just too much of he's not big enough. That guy's just not a big enough fish.
Tony, I think we have our first international call sent to the email. I think it worked. Let's see if this works. Let's see.
What's up, my little lawyers? So we just have 2 episodes left of Better Call Saul, and how will it all end? First of all, I wanted to make...
Now, I just want to say this is a 10-minute message, so we're going to play this in sections.
10 minutes?
10 minutes, 9 minutes and 55 seconds.
In a YouTube video.
He's got a voice for it. This dude's good.
Wait, no. I've heard that this is a YouTube video.
Is he playing a YouTube video here?
This is a YouTube video, dude.
3 theories, but then
listen to it in the beginning. Start it over in the beginning.
Okay, let's set that. Are we being trolled? Is this a YouTube video?
This is a YouTube video, goddammit.
What's up, my little lawyers? So we just have 2 episodes left of Better Call Saul.
Jerry Ross says that's me.
And how will it all end? First of all, I wanted to make 3 theories, but then I actually figured out the perfect one.
This is
how it should end.
You play my video, I'll send you another voicemail. We just played your video. Okay, no, sorry, buddy. I think
that was the video. I know a video. Would I hear one? I know a damn video when I hear one. He's not gonna call, hey, to us, me and you, hey, our lawyer friends.
I thought it was a little creepy, a little weird with the lawyer friends thing.
That was too.
For me, it was the voice was too clear. Was the dead giveaway on that one?
I don't like videos, brother.
this is area code 626.
Hey, my name's Alex, and what I have for a prediction for the end of Better Call Saul is that Saul gets Saul's in the middle of a courtroom. And I'm thinking Kim Wexler is going to be testifying against him. I'm thinking that Bill Oakley is going to be a defense attorney.
I agree with this guy because he's saying my theories. I love him.
For Better Call Saul, just to add a little salt to the wound. And I'm thinking that the very last scene is going to be the judge rattling off a verdict. 10 years for this, 20 years for this. There were, the bodies of Lalo Salamanca and Howard Hamlin were found at the laboratory. And there was something that traced back to Saul for some reason. And you're just going to get the judge rattling off the different, how many years sentence is being put on Saul as the credits roll. And that's my prediction for how the show is going to end out. Appreciate you all for letting me call on the show.
Thank you. Great call. Great thought out. Excellent points. I do want to go back to, because I got distracted by the voicemail thing. We were talking a little bit about, could Saul turn state's evidence against the vacuum cleaner guy? Is that a higher profile enough person? Keith Miller says, yeah, but how many high profile people can get it from the vacuum cleaner guy? He knows, connects to a lot of people. I don't think he is a big enough get. But that being said, people that have seen the teaser, that could lead into that a little bit, where he could be giving that to somebody else in a time of disarray. But I don't think that's the case. I think he just doesn't have anyone he can give state's evidence for. He's the last one. He's the last one connected to that stuff. He's the guns on the table that they need. He's the one that they're looking for. He has commercials. He's a mini celebrity in Albuquerque. If you were watching Making the Murderer or Netflix documentary on the Walter White case, who would be the star? Who would be like, you're like when you're watching the friggin' Joe Joe the Tiger show or whatever. We watch one of those stupid shows. When you watch the Walter White one, when you see who's the one you Tiger King, who's the one that's gonna get people's attention? Saul Goodman, the guy with all these commercials and this whole like legacy through him. He's gonna be famous. There's gonna be books and podcasts about Saul Goodman, and so he's the biggest high profile thing, maybe even more high profile than Jesse. Ultimately, I mean, Jesse's the partner. He gave up that videotape where he admits everything, but Saul's the last one left.
I'm looking at. I think Maud Mary wasn't a mod on my channel, which is crazy. Her name is Maud Mary.
Isn't it a law that Maud Mary has to be a mod on every channel?
It does, because he's Maud Mary.
Remind me next time, Maud Mary, if I haven't modded you too.
That's Maud Mary. I got somebody in there protecting us from the trolls, because I don't want to have to go to subscriber only. You know what I mean? Mode, and I don't like to do that and stuff. So I'm trying not to, but that's how these other sites, these bots get in there when you don't do that and stuff. But if I got my mods blocking these people and getting them out, then we don't want to ever.
Yeah, the sex bots are strong on Better Call Saul. They watch it too. So we understand that they want to leave their comment, but they need to slow their roll and take their time. It's an exciting show. We're all invested. Even the porn bots are invested in this show. We get it.
I understand too. You know what I mean? And I don't want the people who actually want to use their service, to feel bad that I'm blocking them and stuff. But you have to do that shit on your own goddamn time.
Yeah, take a screenshot. We don't care what you do with your own time.
What I mean? I'm not trying to hate nobody.
Okay, I want to ask this question because no one's talking about this, and there is a point on where Bob Odenkirk is on The View. And I was gonna make a video on this, but it's not big enough to make a video really. But he was on The View and he was talking about how everyone is satisfied now that we've got the Walt and Jesse cameo, but the next ones are more impactful and weighty. So, something like I'm paraphrasing what he said, but it was something to that effect.
Can we play the View audio?
I'll try to find the audio. It might take me a few minutes, but let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, I watched that video too. That there's going to be the next scene with.
The way he said it, I almost made something on it, but I was like, another Bob spoil something. You could tell he can't wait to say it. He's like, oh, everyone thinks that's the next one's the ones that are going to matter.
Could it be the scene that we talked about and we shown? Could that be a Saul scene?
It could be.
It also a Gene scene.
It absolutely could be. It could be a scene that Vince is filming in the Breaking Bad timeline. It also, with the Walter and Jesse thing, I think the Walter scene is going to be when Walter and Saul are talking about murdering or poisoning Brock. But I brought that up for the Jesse scene. Is there any chance, Tony, that we see Jesse in Alaska? That the second Aaron Paul cameo is future Jesse?
This is both of these scenes with them are separate now.
Yep, and I'm gonna look for this while you answer that question.
Yeah, so both of them are separate. So it was said that they shot scenes together, one scene together, and then after that, we seen the scene with them together. The next scene is one-on-one. They shot scenes with them both one-on-one, so they didn't know exactly what happened there. So it could possibly be that you see him in this modern day timeline in Alaska, or something like that. So it could be a situation that you do see him in that up there and everything else. Thank you for the super chat, Joe. Same number as my brother. Just because of the great entertainment. Thank you so much. I know other people do this, and we ain't trying to brag. We ain't trying to brag or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Saying that we the best at this whole thing. We give you the best entertainment and information combined. You can't match us. But, people have said that. Not that we got anything against anybody else who covers the show, because we don't. We respect everybody's opinion and everything that everybody's done. We all want to be friends with everybody up in this piece, man. That's the way we get down. You know what I mean? We like everybody. Phil is friends with that Kiwi guy, right? Is his name Kiwi? I know it was some type of fruit. Was it kiwi or what was it? I know it was some type of fruit.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the place in the audio, but yeah, the Kiwi is awesome. He's a great dude.
Yes, Phil friends with other people. I'm friends with Phil. No one else.
But it works both ways. There's a lot of people that are friends with you that aren't friends with me, Tony.
Yeah, so that's just the way it is. I guess it
But
depends.
Kiwi is he's awesome people. He's a great dude.
Yeah, I never had to do it or anything like that. You know what I mean? But he seems like a encyclopedia when it comes to the show. Like, he knows. He gets everything right. He thinks from New Zealand, huh? All right. That's what it is. All right, so I'm going to put this back up on the screen so we can talk a little bit more about it, and I'm going to go into a little bit more on what they're saying here, so we can break this down again. You know what I mean? It says whenever new shower, that doesn't matter. It says so for 5 hours I watched as he sneaked around the house, engaging in a real cat and mouse game with another character. This is optional. I would quote to Gilligan. After some sneaking, his brain was unable to resist the subtextual probing. But I think this part of him enjoys us, the romance of danger. So obviously there's danger in this scene. It's a truly dangerous scene. And he's trying to say that he thinks that his guy enjoys the danger in the scene. And Gilligan nodded and said, no, he needs to play it more like I got to get the fuck out of here, basically. Otherwise, it will play weird. If you don't play it like you need to bounce. So whatever happens, he has to bounce out of this whole situation. And again, we'll go back to.
And I do have that part on the View whenever you're ready for it, Tony.
All right, yeah, let's play it right now.
And I do want to say one thing that I saw someone say in the chat as I was going by. The kid I went to college with, there's a picture of Michael Vincent Barry on IMDb sitting in a Better Call Saul director's type chair. He's just probably like a set with him.
Let me answer this real quick for this dude, right? Because I just said it. We may not have been here. To Don, Teff, and Phil, you may have got another from live. So I said it a little bit ago. I'll say it again. I do have an interview with a main cast member from that's being worked out. The details, exact time is being worked out right now. You know, I've been in contact with the actor and the actor's people, and we're going to definitely have this interview jump off sooner than later. So definitely we'll be doing another live stream. And it's already done. It's going to be a live stream with them, and they already agreed to that.
I love the show but they really like picked a weird name. You're like the actor from.
I've said to messages to people, and I was like, they're like, what show are you watching? I'm like, from. They're like, from what? I'm like, from. They're like, from where? What network? I'm like, from. It's the name.
I don't know. Third Base. It's like a joke, a joke. Okay, this is Bob Odenkirk on the View, being asked. It's a good interview. It's 8 minutes of him. It's some good information and stuff. But one part where he sort of leaks out. There's another part where he leaks a little bit towards the end about Carol Burnett as well. But I guess the biggest stuff is whatever he says here about Jesse and Walt. So they ask him the question here.
Gave fans the long-awaited cameos by Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, aka Walter White.
Yeah. Can you hear that, Tony?
Yeah, I hear it fine.
And Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
The truth is, it was just the start. There's more of them.
Oh,
and
wow.
And the scenes that come up are powerful.
Really?
Because, I love that everybody thinks they're going to show up, then they see him, they go, great, we did it, we saw him again. I'm like, you never know what's going to come next time.
Oh.
So don't be so sure you've seen the last. I'm telling you, you haven't.
Well, you also had another superstar, surprise
we
guest,
sure
Carol
do.
Burnett on the
Carol
show.
Burnett.
But I heard that you almost, Bob, I heard that you almost ruined the secret.
I mean, he talks a little bit about Carol Burnett, but that's the Jesse and Walt reference there. That the next scenes are more weight to them. So do you think it's possible for it to be Alaska Jesse?
It's got to be something. If it's more weight than what we've seen of them, that means most likely the Jesse is not going to be a flashback. That's the only more weight we can get from him. There's nothing else you can do with Walter. It has to be a flashback, but I would think that it's a good chance that Jesse is in the final episode from Alaska. If they're really trying to wrap up the whole universe, then it makes sense for them to do that. You know, if they're trying to get rid of done, no spinoffs, no nothing, this is it, then you want to tie up what all the characters are at the end of this. And then that's it. So it would make sense that they show him again in Alaska.
And I'll get your voicemail in a second, my friend. I just need some time to download it and such. We do have another voicemail right here from area code 206.
Phil, this is Pamela Bader calling from Washington State. Yeah, so I'm a YouTuber myself. So I, of course, first have to, do self-promotion. Everyone, please subscribe to Pamela Bader, my YouTube channel.
Wait a second.
Sorry, Tony.
There's people coming on here plugging their shit. Let me plug them because they try to plug them. So let's do it proper. What was the name of their channel?
I don't know. Let me rewind this a little bit. Unfortunately, your phone is having a little weird connection, but let's say.
I want to give them what they want.
Self-promotion. Everyone, please subscribe to Pamela Bader, my YouTube channel.
Scanler Bader?
Well, I was about to say the YouTube channel. Is it maybe?
That's who's in the right there, right down here.
Oh, all right, Scamlet Beta. There we go. All right, so yeah, all right. That's fine. So we're gonna give you a prop, Scamlet Beta. We like you. So go ahead. What is the channel? In fact, can someone put a link to that channel in the description and the comments so that we can actually get the whole situation going on here?
Link it in, but we'll play the rest of your message. Here we go.
To spread awareness for scammers that are happening, and there are different scams that are happening and who they target. I am also a lover of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and I just discovered you on YouTube, and I think you're so adorable. And my prediction is that Kim comes back. Okay, no, somehow like.
She's talking about you, not me.
No, I think she's talking about you.
She said you, goddammit.
She just discovered, but she said she just found you tonight. I think she's talking about you, Tony.
No, it's you. You're adorable.
He was ready to promote you. He's like, call
Phil show. And I'm not the adorable one, goddammit. I'm not the adorable. No.
You're like, call Phil show on Monday night if you want to say that shit.
Yeah, you better go call Phil. Better call Phil, goddamn.
I think she's talking about you, Tony, here.
No, I don't know. That's
caught, right? Somehow they are in a courtroom, and that's where Kim been, whether it's to defend him or I don't know. Anyways, I think you're awesome. So that's my message for you guys again.
See, you guys. So she's not just saying saying
you got at the end, but she said Phil in the beginning. She's talking about you. I just got thrown in the bone at the end, and that's fine. That's fine. Listen,
she did get the promotion. She did get the promotion.
Don't throw down the bone. It ain't that type of part, baby. I'm saying they're wrong. It's the same right here. But I'm just saying, when it's all said and done, what her comment was saying, the court scene again. Again, I did a video that it ends in a court scene and how it could end in a court scene. I could understand them doing that. I can't see them showing him being the lawyer in jail. I don't think that's enough. And when I start thinking about it, I just don't think, listen, we just talked about our life. There's only one person out of all this shit to go to jail would be him, right? Out of all the characters in this show, he would be the only one to go to jail. So do they have to have someone after all this shit go to jail? It would seem so. It would seem like out of all these shows and everything else, there's one person who needs to go to jail. And if he's the one who goes to jail, then it would make sense that he's the one who goes to jail. 100% makes sense. That's the whole reason why I did the waterworks theory, because I do believe it's a good chance that he's going to go to jail. I particularly would think, and he deserves to die when it's all said and done, but I could 100% see them just putting him in jail at the end.
And we got a text message. I'm counting on you guys to bring your A game when House of the Dragon drops, Tony.
We will definitely be there for the pregame show and everything else for House of the Dragon. I got a lot of stuff in store. I got interviews with the cast members and everything else.
A couple of days, right? A couple of days that drops.
Yeah, a couple of days. I'll be dropping one of them, the first of a few interviews with the cast members and stuff. So we'll be dropping that. So we got some big things popping for House of the Dragon. So with that definitely be there. So definitely don't leave us and don't go to the other channels who copy my idea of the pregame show, because understand that I'm the one who created the Game of Thrones pregame show, and that means that no one did it before I did it, and that's the truth. And you can look it up. It's the bottom line. You know what I mean? Now everybody does it and everything else. So it's just what it is and stuff.
Yeah, this is like the last time we've done a Saturday stream was an after dark, so this is like a pre-dark.
Yeah. Last time we was at those streams.
I think usually Saturday. I felt like the last time I streamed with you on a Saturday was because I was doing my usual Saturday stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stream with Tony, and someone's like, oh, last time you did that was an after dark. So I think that's probably the last time we did Saturdays.
Real News Network is saying.
Oh, sorry about that.
Jesse gets caught shipping marijuana to Albuquerque to Francesca Stoner's tenant, and they rat him out, which leads to Jesse. That's far.
Is there? But it does lead me to one question I want to ask. I don't necessarily think this, but something flashed in my mind. If we're trying to figure out why Saul freaks out after he's talking to Kim or whoever on the phone, is there a chance that Francesca set him up with the feds? Like she told him the information about Kim, knowing that he would call Kim to, but no, I guess not, because they could have just tapped that phone call with Francesca.
They would have just did that. I don't think they would that she wanted to get that dough. She was after that money. You know what I mean? And now thank you for the super chat, Mod Mary. What if it's like the last episode of Seinfeld? We talked about this a little bit. And everyone that he screwed over showed up at his trial to defend his life. LOL. I love you, Lord. Yeah, we talked about a little bit of the Seinfeld thing, and that it would go down, something like that. And they would probably play it better than it did in Seinfeld. But I don't know if they would do that. I don't think they would go that route, me personally. What do you think?
I don't think exactly like that, but I still could see a court case of some kind, but I don't think it's going to be full on Seinfeld kind of thing. I think the only person from the past we'd really see would be Kim in that situation. We're not going to like have Jesse show up and have like Huel and Kubi show up. Someone asked about Kubi earlier. I don't think Bill Burr is showing up. I think there's some scheduling conflicts. I think they both wanted to do it, but they just couldn't figure out the scheduling right during the filming. He was doing some other stuff. So I think the reference we got to him in the last episode is the last we'll hear of Huel and Kubi and all those guys. And I think it's probably the last we'll see of Francesca too, is my imagination. Is it true? Someone asked, yes, Jon Snow sequel is at least in development with Kit Harington's team, and George R. R. Martin is advising on it. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but it's most likely will come to air at some point.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll see if it comes to air. A lot of things would have to fall into place for it, but you would have the star power of Kit Harington already attached to it. And I think that all this stuff, listen, you got to understand that there's a new management at HBO, a new management at Warner Brothers, bought out by Discovery.
Yep.
And this guy who's doing it is ruthless. Obviously, he just came and they shot the whole Batgirl movie, right? They shot the whole Batgirl movie, and after they shot the whole Batgirl movie,
80 million.
he just squashed it and said, no, we're not putting this out. So he's not playing around and everything else. Who is the CC person saying they won't be subscribing? Is that what you're saying? Maybe he thinks it's funny. Let me show you how I make jokes. CC, you make jokes. I got jokes too.
Osmel. Let me play. I got a little audio for you here in a second. Give me a second. Wait. Or do you mean you won't be? Let's see.
You're a talker. Listening to talkers makes me thirsty. If any more words come pouring out your cunt mouth, I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
There's a little thing certain for you right there and everything. I truly appreciate it. But no, We're gonna wrap this up soon. Obviously, we'll have to go for 2 hours. I appreciate everyone being here. We have over 250 people were in the chat at one point. Right now, we're a little bit under that. You know what I'm saying? But thank you for everybody else who's been cool, except for Cece, who's been an idiot, and everything else, putting stupid comments in there. And all no love for you, Cece. No love. But everyone else we got. No, I'm just playing with you, Cece. It is what it is. But dealing with the Jon Snow. So as I said, it's a different person that's running it, and we have to see what that person wants to do. It all really depends on the House of the Dragon. If the House of the Dragon blows up, they'll be willing to greenlight everything. They're about making money.
Now, Jordan Lewis asks, thoughts on the second Walter cameo being more of the conversation he and Saul had while held up in the vacuum store basement. Jordan, I've always said I thought it might be that. The more time goes on, the more I'm thinking it might be connected to the Brock situation, because there's some missed business there with the conversation that he had about talking Huel into pickpocketing on Jesse and planting that and eventually poisoning a kid. So I think that's the Walter scene, but the Walter scene could very much be in the basement and the vacuum stuff. But we saw so much of that scene to the point where we saw right when Saul left the room. I'm not sure how much of that we've missed. We saw the important stuff of Walter losing his shit, coughing on the ground, and Saul basically abandoning him, walking over him, and not being scared of him anymore. I'm not sure what more could come from that scene, but I do think Walter could add more context to the Brock scene and see that Jimmy maybe was more of a part of that plan and more involved in the idea to poison a kid than Walter was even, or they were equal partners in that or something. That would add a little bit more evilness to Jimmy and help his destruction be a little bit, make you feel better about seeing him taken down in the end, because he's still so likable. I think that's the biggest problem with Jimmy, about seeing something bad happen to him, why people want these happy endings. Bob Odenkirk's so goddamn likable, and even Saul Goodman, even the most horrible shit he's doing to people, he's still a likable guy. And that's the worst thing with con people, because like Mickey on friggin' God, what was the name of the show with Leaf on Showtime? I'm blanking on the name of it, where he's a fixer for celebrities, and Ray Donovan, Mickey on Ray Donovan. Like, he's just you can't help but kind of like Mickey in the end, like no matter how many horrible things he does. Saul's kind of like that kind of guy. He's
even when you look at people in real life who have ran Ponzi schemes, you look at them, they don't look like a murderer. They don't look like what you would predict a criminal would look like. They look like little gentle old men. You know what I mean? Like, but Madoff, he ran away with billions of dollars from people and stuff. But you look at him, he doesn't look like a criminal like that. He doesn't have that look that you would think of Charles Manson, but he probably did more worse things than Charles Manson when it comes to bankrupting people and everything else, when it's all said and done. So
you mentioned, it's funny you mentioned Madoff, because someone called me or someone texted me in a weird sort of situation saying, hey Phil, has anyone brought up the name Marion? Marion prison is one of the biggest prisons in the country. A hardcore, it's where John Gotti went and died. I think Bernie Madoff went there too. Just food for thought. Maybe it's a little hint where Saul ends up in Marion prison.
I was going to put that in the video too, that there is a Marion prison, and that I was going to put that.
Yeah, this is from my good buddy Big J, who's been a long time been watching me since season 1, leaving calls and stuff.
So. It's true. I was gonna put that in the video and I didn't, but I was gonna do that. That Marion is the name of a person too, so it all ties into Marion putting them away. Right. Listen, this is the whole thing. I know this is the whole thing.
And they set up so many possibilities.
I keep seeing people saying that Kim's gonna defend him in the end. Obviously, I did think that at a point because I made a video about it. But I just think that since everyone thinks that's going to happen, there's no way it's going to happen. That's the number one thing. I think that when everyone gets it right and everyone believes it, that's when it doesn't happen. That means it's way too obvious. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. That's why I just can't see it going down like that.
Someone said the episode 13 preview was leaked. Yeah, I leaked it.
Yeah, it was Phil.
Sorry, that's my bad.
If you look at these other YouTubers, they just took Phil's video from his
except for the one guy who I gave credit in the video. Again, I gave the dude credit in the video.
And that was it, So I'll talk about that later on and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do another video tomorrow. We'll see. I just dropped another one today.
Yeah, I'm
so.
waiting for a high definition version of it to talk about. There is some stuff in there that I want to talk about with a I don't know. I have a theory. I talked to Tony about it earlier that I'm going to put out about another piece of information to come from one of these Bob Odenkirk interviews in the last preview. So we'll see.
Beastie Brew, is that just a black picture or is that just a dark picture? What is going on there? What is that?
It's got the little fishbowl and Beastie. That's why you said it. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and everything else. All right, I'm Kitty. Says, I haven't seen you before, Kitty. Thank you for joining us here. It says, she just got rid of her NM law license. She could have gotten a Nebraska law license. Dumbasses. She's calling us dumbasses. Is that us?
Probably. She just got rid of her New Mexico.
Is that what's going on in Kitty? God damn it, Kitty.
I want to
I
say
didn't say anything about no damn license or anything like that. So I don't know if Kitty's
like Red Foreman calling us dumbasses.
Oh, dude, Kitty.
Dumbasses.
Why would you do that to the town? No.
I mean, we resemble those remarks, but still.
I mean, hey, maybe other people are thinking that about us and everything. Billy Boggs says she's not in Nebraska.
Oh, someone says she's calling someone else in the chat dumbasses, not us.
But she says that I know.
I'd rather her call us dumbasses. That's cute. Like if someone's calling us, I'm imagining.
She's not talking about us. So
that's cute. I wanted to be called the dumbass. I imagined it in a very friendly way. You two dumbasses.
And everything else. She's talking. She's having a time with these people in the chat right now.
I love it. That's what's the best thing about having these discussions with all these Saul fans. It's good. It's going to be tough. I mean, these 2 weeks. I know we're starting to wrap things up here and finishing things off. So if anyone has any last minute comments, throw them in the comment section. But I think we're going to start to wrap this up. But we have 2 more episodes. This has been a really fun run. It feels like these 6 episodes that we've had this section, the second half, has been like a whole. See how long season. I can't believe it's only been a couple weeks. We've been through 4 weeks. It's only been a month, but this month has felt so dense because I think every day people are in your comments and my comments and other people's comments on Reddit and on Facebook, like talking about this show right now. So it makes it more fun. We're really making a meal out of it. And I can't remember the last show that got. I remember the last show that got like this was a huge disappointment. Was Game of Thrones for people. I haven't seen
Game of Thrones, Dexter, New Blood,
Breaking Bad, obviously.
I mean, sticking the landing is the hardest thing to do, and a lot of these shows don't stick the landing. So we'll see. That's why people want to ask me to do a video on what's better, this or Better Call Saul, or Breaking Bad. Because you can't judge it until you see the landing.
Yeah, I'm going to do a video like that too, Tony, and maybe we can trade notes a little bit, but and do videos and then do a live stream where we take people's votes and put up polls and stuff and certain categories and stuff. But it's tough to talk about it without the landing. But even what I mean too is people haven't been this wrapped up in a television series where everyone's talking about it, where I have family members that know I talk about this that never talk about my show. I was watching your live stream. Better Call Saul. What do you think is going to happen, Philip? People like that tuning in. Like this is grabbing people right now in the way that a show hasn't in a while. And I hope it satisfies because you can only hurt people so much in so many shows, as you said, hurt people. Dexter, Game of Thrones, even something like How I Met Your Mother, like all these. It's tough to end a show good, and when people invest their time into it.
It is, and it's hard because people have the ending in their head. So then once that doesn't come true, some people don't like it for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if it doesn't end the way they wanted it to end, it's just a problem. Let's take the super chat. Thank you so much, Bruce. And I think intent matters to Vince Gilligan.
Mm-hmm.
Walt got the future he wanted, so his death was justified. And Jimmy's future was a result of Kim leaving. So prison might be justified, but not death. I hear what you're saying,
mm-hmm.
but I do think death is justified for him, and I don't know if that's the case when you say that his future was a result of Kim leaving. His future was written on his own. He did that to himself. Kim left and he threw himself into his work, but he didn't have to be that. He wanted to be that. Just like Walter White said that he enjoyed it. You know, at the end, he finally got to admit it. I did it because I was good at it and I enjoyed it. And I just didn't do it because I had to do it. Jimmy loves being Saul. He loved that life of being Saul. He loved Saul. He did what he was good at it, and he loved the money. He loved everything about it. He loved that persona of this being Saul. He loved it.
Do you think we get a moment where Jimmy admits that, like out loud, that we hear Jimmy admit that he likes it? Because we've always sort of had him try to pretend he was a good person to a certain extent. So I wonder if we'll ever see that moment, if he has another conversation with Kim where he just says, you know, I love it. I did it for myself. Or maybe not even Kim, or maybe you could say it happened after the Chuck. That's what the Chuck arc was him embracing it. He was never going to be anything else after that.
Yeah, I think it was just him just embracing it. I think that he always wanted to do it. I don't know if they'll say it out loud or anything like, you know, but I don't know if they'll do that again. But I think, you know, I think that when you show him get the massage, when he puts his feet up there and shakes his back and he lays there, shows you that he was missing being who he was, and now he feels like I'm back to normal.
Yeah, that's why they showed him with it back in the other timeline too, with the same device, that he's trying to get back to that point, and he's going to keep going down the same cycle. Like he reached the dead end with the Howard and the Lalo thing, and then he reached the dead end with Walter. Every time he tries this, third time's a charm. Now with Marion and Jeff and the dog dude, like it's just going to be a disaster again. Like every time he thinks he's building something up, it crashes, and there's no reason to think that it's not the same thing isn't going to happen again, Tony.
No doubt about it. All right, people, we are out of here. Thank you all for coming and rolling with us. Again, make sure if you're subscribed to Fill the Issues Guys channel, as soon as Better Call Saul ends, he will be up within 15 to 20 minutes with his live stream right after. So you can just watch it, and then boom, Phil is there, and you get everything up. Jackie's asking for an After Dark tonight. Not tonight, Jackie. I'm sorry. But we will be doing an After Dark again. It's not over. We'll be back with that.
And as I mentioned, the After Dark crew will have a reunion on my channel talking about Only Murders in the Building.
Yes, we'll have, and then we'll be back with the After Dark, everything else. I promise you that we'll be back with that.
Yeah, it's Saturday. Like in my brain, because we're ending this now, or I'm like, oh, this is like a Wednesday night, but yeah, it is. It's a Saturday.
All right, and that's it. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.